In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still at it. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Krause. Cash, how you doing?
Pretty good. Back for another Throwback Thursday. And we are continuing.
Throwback Thursday, Throwback Theater.
Throwback Thursday, Throwback Thursday, either one, yeah.
Yeah, no. It does take place on a Thursday.
It does, and it is a throwback, I know that.
It is.
But,
and we are continuing on with our trilogy series here of Pirates of the Caribbean, jumping into the second film, Dead Man's Chest.
Absolutely. Keeping it going.
Yes, we are.
And this film is just more of the last film. Cranked up. Everything.
Yeah, everything is dialed up
the
for
darkness, sure. the humor, yes. The action sequences, the bad guys. It's all they just said, hey, that worked. Let's just fucking crank it up to a 10 now, baby. And that is what they do.
Oh, they
my
did.
God.
Oh, my gosh. Holy crap.
It is a very fun film.
It is.
It does. It's not as good as the first one, obviously.
No, I still think Curse of the Black Pearl
just so
is
good,
the perfect one.
It doesn't have the same, whatever that first one had, it does not have the same feeling to me for some reason.
Though I don't think it's bad either by any stretch of the imagination.
Very fun.
I still have fun with this. And still to this day might be one of the best endings for a trilogy going into the third film. I love the ending of this one.
Well, man, did they just set everything up for this last one.
It did, yeah.
For the third one, they were just setting everything up. But you can't say that these films ever are shot bad.
No.
They are always the highest production value.
Yeah, and the action sequences look
The cinematography is always flawless. It's always amazing. The sound, the score, the soundtrack is always phenomenal.
And
the sound design is amazing.
There's some really funny moments in this movie, too.
Well, that's what they did with this one is everyone feels like Johnny Depp really feels like he's coming into Jack Sparrow into this.
Absolutely.
He's really figured this character out, and now he knows exactly who he wants him to be. Because the comedy, there's more funny parts in this one than there is in the last one, especially with him. But way darker too. They said, hey, that first one was the first PG-13 movie we've ever done. Let's make this one fucking scary. Because the first 5 minutes, a guy's getting his eye pecked out by a crow.
By a crow, yeah. Up on the thing, it is dark in that like castle-looking thing.
I remember when the first one came out, and they were like, this is crazy for Disney. They're fucking cutting people up. People are dying. This one, they said, fuck that. We're going to go full on. Let's make it rated R. Yeah, guy getting his eye pecked out immediately. People getting their throat slit constantly.
They don't show that very much, though.
No,
they don't show the blood.
But they do
out,
the graphic sound.
Yeah,
and the guy's going, whoa. Yeah. So you really don't need to even show it for me to know that guy is
no longer
a
with us.
horrible death. But yeah, they crank everything up. They said, let's just it feels like Pirates of the Caribbean on steroids.
Yes.
Everything, which it's not a bad thing, but they just add in so much. They said one bad guy in the first one. We'll fucking add two bad guys in this one. You ever heard of Davy Jones?
Well,
he's in there.
He's in there. And then what I really love about these next two films is they add the mythological beast, the Kraken, which I loved the fact that they used this. And two, from the first one, from Curse of the Black Pearl, they then actually physically introduced Bootstrap Bill in this film as well. And I love the way that they started that.
Of course, plays by, of course, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yes.
Patriarch of the Skarsgård family.
What talented family those guys are.
Yeah, you can't really find a movie where there's not a
Skarsgård
Skarsgård.
somewhere.
I'm sure fucking Uncle
dwindling
Danny
in.
Skarsgård is like the key grip on every film or something like that.
That whole family.
God damn, dude. But yeah, he's so good. And
Yes,
just the entire Flying Dutchman, every scene you're almost wanting to end so you can get back on the Flying Dutchman and see it, because they do it so well.
One of the most like iconically creepy scenes in this film specifically is I love Davy Jones when he's playing the organ and his tentacles are playing.
So dramatic. Oh, yeah.
You know?
And then when he's playing when the Kraken gets released, and he is just
hammering away at those
slapping
keys.
that ivory.
Yeah, he is.
My God, dude. If he wasn't a pirate,
he would have been a hell of an
he
organ
could have been
player.
in Rush.
He could have been, yeah.
Yeah, he could have done anything. But man, he is really, really just fucking.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing about this crew, they're all CGI all the time. The CGI looks very good. They still try to keep into the dark most of the time, except for that island scene.
The island scene,
The CGI, of course, looks credible, but they're all CGI.
Yeah, I wasn't I thought,
Some
they
of
did
them,
great
some
work,
of them
but
look
some of them
really
looked-
cool. Some of them look
didn't
not
look
so
great.
good. Yeah, exactly. They're all very unique. Like
But
the
again,
design is
15 years
very
ago.
unique. Exactly. Yeah. But still, I would have liked a little more practical effects, but I feel like they
Same.
saw the first one work so well with the CGI. They said, okay, let's. But they do a really good job showing the Kraken because they barely show it. They show a lot of tentacle.
Yeah.
And they show it just slightly when Will Turner goes in the water.
Yes.
But they do a good job of not like leaving the camera on it because it probably would have looked too fake.
I thought it looked awesome though.
Well, they only barely
especially when
show
he-
it.
yeah,
They only
when
ever
he
show
went
it. Yeah.
underwater, I was just like, whoa. Then you really get a sense of how big the Kraken is.
They also introduced another bad guy who I like just as much as Davy Jones is Lord Beckett, who is
Yes, the
just
British
who's and more
commander.
evil than anyone.
Yeah, he's a jackass.
He's much more evil than Davy Jones
Yes.
is in this. He's willing to kill.
Anyone and anything at any
He
time.
does. He kills Elizabeth's dad.
Yeah.
He kills everyone. And this one also introduces.
Well, not yet. Isn't that in the third one?
Well, we get that. Yeah, he
Yeah, I mean,
shows
he's
up in the
going-
third one,
yeah.
but he kills her. He kills him in this one when because you see him when he's got no wig on. He's looking real shitty. You know, he's looking like the Sparrow or whatever. Yeah, we get the instance that he's gonna kill her because they end up not giving him what he wanted because Mary was gonna hang them both for piracy. But yeah, we get Lord Beckett, who I think fucking kills it. He's awesome in this as the bad guy, and he gets a very satisfying death in the third one. We won't get into that, but he does a good job. And it's not Lord Beckett I'm thinking of. Lord Beckett is the guy from the last one who ends up being a drunk in this one, which is another great character arc, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. Lord Cutler Beckett.
No, he was the guy. He was the one that originally wanted to marry Elizabeth.
I thought that was Norrington. James Norrington.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting my old British
Yeah, you are.
Lord.
Names
Yeah, exactly.
mixed up.
Okay, so let's talk about Lord Norrington, who he has a great character arc as well, where he's like, somehow they managed to keep that character in.
Yeah, they did.
But still build on his character, where he's just a huge drunk in this one because he lost his job for helping them
Escape.
Yeah, and you would not think that you were going to see that character again. I remember going in this film and like, I really thought we got rid of that guy.
Yeah.
But he plays a huge role in this.
He does.
And even in the third one, he plays a huge role as well. But yeah, so that's a good character arc as well. We get a lot more characters. And Bill Nighy does a great job as fucking David. Obviously, he's doing the voice. Well, he's doing the mocap, too.
Yeah, he did all the mocap.
That's one thing is it's all mocap, you can tell.
Yeah.
Which is, at least they did
I don't know.
that.
I thought Davy Jones looked great in this.
Well, you had
honestly.
to. He's on the camera more than anyone.
So much, yeah, that you have to spend your time
Well,
with
it's the design of all these characters that are really very interesting. With him, how it looks like it's just an octopus stuck on top of his head, and how some of the guys have like eels running through.
One's got a shark head, the other one's got like crab head. that walks in. That scene was really funny too. Where he's like,
Well,
hey,
he's got
like,
a
pirates.
sea urchin like on his head. Yeah, but yeah, all the designs are they're super cool, and none of them are the same too. So you at least have to appreciate that.
Yeah, you do.
But
yeah,
some of
'cause I'm
them
sure
are
that
just
took
like
a
one
lot of
guy's
time.
got a big coral head.
Feel bad for that.
But it's
guy.
cool how it's like slowly happens and how Bootstrap was slowly starting to become, because eventually you become part of the ship.
Yep.
And it shows some guy that's been there for a little too long, if you
A
ask
couple
me.
100 years, it looked like he was literally becoming part of the ship.
Exactly. And I like how they show that too. And the guy, and it's, again, much darker, that fully exposed brain. It showed.
It did, yeah.
I can only imagine a very young child going to see this and being just mortified. But yeah. So they go. I like that. I like Norrington. I like his arc and all that, and how he eventually plays a bigger role. Again, this one is a lot funnier with the cannibalistic tribe. I almost forgot that was in this one. I almost forgot it. I almost thought it was in the third one for some reason.
It is really funny
these films
too
are
because
so long.
Yeah.
I mean, then they get longer and longer. What is this? Was this one 2 hours and 40 minutes? I'm almost
it was
positive.
an hour and 51 minutes, so 2:31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long these films
Super
are
long.
even just in. And by the third one, I think the third one's damn near 3 hours.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
It's close to it, but they cover a lot. But yeah, I liked that scene. The whole cannibalistic tribe is very fun, I thought.
Yeah.
Of them being stuck in the...
Well, and it's even funny the way that they describe it. Yeah, so Pirates of the Caribbean 3 is 168 minutes.
Yeah, so damn near 3 hours long.
But I love the way they're describing the cannibals, and then they're like, yeah, Jack's their god.
Yeah.
He goes, but unfortunately for Jack, he's going to be
stuck there,
burnt
too,
alive
'cause
to
they always-
release him from his fleshly body.
Well, what they believe is the god is trapped in a mortal flesh shell, and only to release him, they must consume his flesh. And yeah, it's the worst scenario actually for the guy that's in charge. But yeah, again, cannibalism. You didn't think that was going to be part of this either.
I know, right?
And now they talk about how the guy explains how it's called long pork, and now that's how people used to explain cannibalism. Was long
is
pork,
which is very dark.
frightening. Yeah. And how the cages weren't made until after the crew got
Yeah, he's like, "Where'd the crew go?" And he goes, "You're looking at him."
He's like, these cages weren't made until after we landed, and it's just all fucking bones picked clean.
Yep.
I like that a lot. I like the darkness of it. It was like, it
guess-
almost reminded me of Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, where it was so dark that that Spielberg was like, we got to make it as silly as possible as well, because it's crazy.
Because it's super dark. And not only that, but I mean, some of those jokes, if a 9 or 12-year-old went, they probably wouldn't catch on to that.
No,
You know,
but
it's not too in your face.
no, but I like Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp. He's it's the funniest he is in any of this.
I love his run too. It's kind of like it's very like a flamboyant run where he's like doing this the whole time as he's running. It's so funny.
Well, I love when they first pick him up. Remember, he's like out of the prison, the pirate prison, and he gets off and he like pretends to be dead just to find the key or whatever. And but they're all ready to mutiny again because he hasn't. They're just chasing after this key and they're not getting anything. But I love when what's the parrot guy's name?
Oh, I don't remember.
I love it, but they're all thinking about mutiny or whatever, and the parrot says something like "get him," and he immediately brings up the gun. What did he say? he's so like scared that they're about to.
One of my favorite was when he's like, "Stay on the ship, stay on the ship," and then the parrot goes, "Stay on the ship," and then he can't say "stay on the ship," so he has to stay on the ship.
So funny.
That scenes like that are hilarious.
What did he say? And he brings the gun out. He's getting right in the parrot's face. And somehow the monkey is still like alive. But then
the monkey was given.
That's
away.
the thing is the writing doesn't feel as strong as the first one.
No,
the first one
it
felt airtight. You know, you couldn't really poke things like that. But this one, there's a lot more to where you can be like, they seem like they're just doing that just to get us there.
Right, and I do agree with that. I think some of the mojo, I guess, from the first not all of it translated to this film. It's still a fun film and still one I enjoy watching quite a bit.
Yeah,
but not everything translated.
And
as
for how
well.
much
Wasn't
fun
as
it is,
airtight.
the story is still good because you usually gotta exchange fun for story usually, and the story is still good. But there is some things where you're like, you're still questioning would that really make sense or not? With I don't know. There's multiple shit like that, but just the small stuff like that with the monkey still not. I don't. When does
still
he
cursed?
Yeah, did he steal a medallion on his way out?
That might have been for up for interpretation because the monkey did like to steal things quite a bit. So
It
he might have
did,
stolen
but I
one
mean,
of
yeah.
Cortez's golden coins.
But all the crew would have been cursed still. I thought
Maybe, yeah, if he's part of it.
And small things of like the two pirates that I can't remember their name from the first one. They're just comedic roles. They just end up.
yes,
They just
those two.
end up going past the island.
That was so funny.
Like
though,
how
because
small is the ocean?
I know. Well, not only that, but it's like every time these guys are like trying to steal things, and they're just like the two that are just the biggest dipshits that even if they're trying to steal or do something against the crew, they're like, okay, they can be a part of it because they're just a bunch of dummies.
It's very franchise-esque where it's like it's this this massive open world, but they only run into the same cast of characters the entire time.
Because they're trying to steal the Black Pearl, and then they start to get it out to sea, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, come on, guys, we got the ship going for you." And then
but how they got there is so
chest.
like, remember they're just floating on there, and it just barely go. We just luckily we got away from that. It never shows
It didn't
or
show
anything.
anything,
It was
no.
just purely there to get them onto the Black
the
Pearl.
ship.
Yeah, just randomly in the middle of the ocean, they're in like a dinghy or something. But, stuff like that, I thought was it's just a little too much. You have to
yeah.
you have to hold back the logic in your brain. But like you said, the Kraken, when it first introduced the Kraken, and it's the Turkish guys when the dress,
Yes.
and they're like,
No, it's the hat.
yeah, it was
hat,
that? Well,
yeah.
yeah, and he's pretending to be a captain. It's hilarious.
It is.
And then they think that the hat was the thing that brought the Kraken, so they're like,
So they're
fighting.
giving it back to each other.
But man, it's so good, the Kraken, and how just quick it happens,
Because that was a smaller ship too, and it just.
That's exactly, and that's the very first scene we see with the Kraken, and it's fucking gone. And I love how
It's gone and terrifying too, and it's kind of like the Jaws effect, where you don't see the Kraken for like an hour.
Well, it's exactly how like those old pirate stories are of like the Kraken. They do that so well, and how they call the Kraken is super fucking cool with like the bell thing and the whip, and then it kind of does that sonar thing, and it calls them. It's super cool. And it's such a huge part of pop culture now of Davy Jones coming up and going, release the Kraken.
Yep.
I mean, people talk about it all the time, and they have to. That has to be the opening intro for the Seattle Kraken. It has to be a picture of Davy Jones yelling, release the Kraken.
Yeah, you would hope so.
Right when they all skate out. It's got to be. That'd be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, you probably got to spend a pretty penny with Disney to get the rights to have that happen. But
Yeah, but you fucking could.
yeah, you
5
could.
seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's Seattle, so
I
they got
know.
the money
They
in
got
Seattle.
money, yeah. But I like that. I like every scene with the Kraken. The Kraken was it was super cool, but you knew it couldn't last by the third one because it's just too powerful.
Before this film, did you ever play Liar's Dice?
No, but I remember because I was so jacked up about pirates when the first pirate came out. I got a book about pirates and all that. And then when this game came out, or when this movie came out, I was like, I gotta learn that
Gotta
game.
play Liar's Dice. It's the easiest game of all time to learn.
It is,
too.
and it's not even that
Fun?
No,
No.
it's
Not unless you're wagering something.
wagering souls.
Yeah,
And
well, then it gets a little bit
then
more
it gets more exciting.
intense.
But yeah, it's a very old, simple game where
But Bootstrap Bill, man, he sacrificed his life for his son.
he did. He
It's the
had
greatest thing you can do.
Well, because Will is just a dumb shit, dude.
He is. He doesn't understand how
Bootstrap's
curses work
entire
still.
job has been to make sure his son is not a pirate, and everything he does.
Every turn, he's trying to be a pirate. For
okay, I'll
life.
wager my soul. And Bootstrap,
For eternity.
oh my god, he's like my kid.
I can't.
I'm trying to get off this ship at some
Right.
point.
He's like, now I got to spend an eternity on this ship, the bastard.
So that is very sad for Bootstrap.
It was.
Unfortunately
for him.
But a good scene of him getting whipped and then him having to whip him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all the best scenes are done on the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, they were.
You just
And-
want to spend more time on the Dutchman.
I like the dialogue because he's like, well, this guy takes pleasure in ripping flesh from bone.
Yeah.
He goes, so what I did was trying to save you.
But and everything Davy Jones says, like Barbossa, you're hanging on every word he says. I love when they're playing Liar's Dice and he flips the cup over knowing he realizes, Bootstrap, you are a liar and you will stay on this boat for eternity. And he goes, but Turner, you're free to go. As
Next time we
go
part.
ashore. Knowing that he can only go once every 10 years
Yes.
is when he... I love that. I love... Bill Nighy does such a good job in this fucking role. Playing. And you finally...
And you needed that too with
needed a voice.
quote unquote losing Barbosa. You needed someone to fill those shoes.
Someone
and
that
I
could
thought he
carry
did a great
that,
job doing that.
And because it's all CGI, you need someone with a very strong, powerful voice like Bill Nighy does.
Mm-hmm.
But he's... Everything he says is like a fucking written from the Bible or something.
Yeah, it is.
That's how good the writing is for this character, at least, is you get the feeling that he's been around for a
very
He's
long
like
time.
Neptune.
Of course.
He says at one point, "I am the sea." Again, all one-liners. He's
But
talking
I did like that when they're like, "Oh, we can't find Jack. It looks like he was
must be
lost at
at
sea."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I am."
He would
the
know.
sea."
He would know immediately if he was dead because he's just Davy Jones. He ferries all the souls to the locker.
Yep.
Destined forever to be on the ocean. But it's still fucking cool, dude. I wouldn't mind it that bad. You're looking cool. Yeah, you got a fucking
Octopus face.
and you got a starfish growing on your dick and stuff like that. And
It's maybe not the most appealing thing.
it's probably uncomfortable.
Yeah,
You got muscles growing on your feet. You got to peel off. And it probably doesn't happen overnight.
Barnacles are probably itchy.
You probably
and
wake up one
scratchy.
day and then you got like a fucking... It's slowly happening.
It is.
It's slowly...
Over a course of a long time.
And
yeah.
eels fucking growing in your stomach and shit. So it's not fun.
No.
But they look cool. I mean, they look cool. So, but...
And again, some callbacks to the ride once more, which
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. The well scene when they're pulling the guy out of the well and he's like spitting water out of his
Yeah.
mouth. Again, part of the ride. It was really cool.
Yeah, and they even
they
brought the dog
Tortuga
back.
and stuff. And the dog.
Unfortunately, dog...
Where's the dog with the keys?
Yeah. And
I love
where's that damn dog?
Poor dog, though.
Poor dog, I'm
Got
guessing,
eaten by
doesn't...
cannibals. So,
Well, not cannibals, not purely cannibals if they're dipping
yeah,
their
if they're
toes in the
chasing
dog. But we get an after credit scene, like I guess just to show us that the dog didn't get ate.
Yeah.
But if they were worshiping him like they worship Jack, they were gonna eat him. Eventually.
They were definitely going to eat him.
Unfortunate for that dog. How do we know how he got off out of the prison?
I don't know either.
Again, there's only 9 characters in this entire world, and one of them is that dog you see constantly.
I do like it, though. For whatever reason. I like the dog.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the third one, to be honest.
I don't think so.
I've seen the third one a lot.
I did like that scene, too, when they're like, we don't have enough gunpowder barrels. He's like, add the rum. He's like, he waits for like 5 seconds. He's like, fuck,
Yeah.
let's just add the rum.
Again, yeah, this one's a lot funnier. And the one when...
There are a lot of
the
funny
joke when
one-liners.
Jack's at Tortuga, and he thinks that it's a boy talking to her, and he's like, "I thought I loved you," and Jack's like, "I think you got the wrong guy, son."
Yeah.
He's like, "I only love the sea," and he's like looking at his first mate. He's like, "Let's get out of here." He just thinks it's some weird dude that's in love with him. He's like, "I think you got the wrong guy. I only love the sea," but stuff like that was a lot funnier, I thought, but. And we get to meet Calypso for the first time in this one. At the very start where they go to ask her about the heart.
Yep.
And she gets the monkey, and we end up finding later on that she actually resurrects Hector Barbosa.
She does.
You had to bring him back.
You had to.
And of course he's munching on that green apple.
He loves
his
those
green
green apples, man. There's something about
They gotta
them.
be
Most
hard to
people don't like
find.
those Granny Smiths, but
Well, they're
this
for
guy
bacon,
does.
not for eating.
They are.
They got to be hard to find on the open water.
They're very tart.
They are very
Not the
tart.
greatest apple.
I do enjoy green apple. I don't like an overly sweet apple.
Yeah.
I
I like the
I like an apple with a
pink
good...
ladies are my favorite.
Pink ladies are
delicious.
good. Fijis are good, but they're real
Yeah.
sweet. But we could get into apple. This could
We could talk about apples all day.
Oh,
I
I-
do love a good Honey Crisp.
this could become apple talk if that's what you want.
The Apple Podcast.
But yeah, again, they have to be hard to get on a boat. Apples.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not
They're
an apple
easy.
guy coming
And they're
around.
definitely not, 98 cents a pound.
And hard to keep fresh too.
oh.
You don't have any
no refrigeration.
So, but yeah, that's the last scene we get. It's just teasing us for the third one.
Well, and it's the perfect reveal because I'll never forget as a kid going into the second film, I don't critique films the way that I did back when I was 13 years old.
Of course not. You're just happy to be there.
Exactly. And I thought it was like, oh, I love the second one too. And then at the very end when they reveal Barbossa, I'm like, no, it was the end. All I could do for that next week was want the third film.
One, I know.
I just wanted it so bad.
Well, that's what these films always did so well. Is you just wanted to go deeper into the world.
Yes, and you just wanted to see how it ended.
As soon as you saw one, and especially with that reveal of Barbossa, you knew immediately that him and Davy Jones at some point were two of the best pirates of all time. Were going to butt heads, and they do.
Oh, they definitely do.
And in my opinion, to a pretty satisfying conclusion. And what the third one does is exactly what the second one does, where it just ups everything. It ups the weirdness. It ups the surrealism, which I usually don't mind, but it just ups the CGI and the action scenes a lot more too, which it's not my favorite. It's a lot less story-driven than the first one is.
And I got to be honest, I finished this at midnight last night or the night before, and then all I wanted to do was watch the third one.
I know.
And I tried to convince Mary. I was like, can we just watch the third one right now? And she's like, no, we don't have time. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Well, yeah,
so now I'm excited to watch the third one.
And it ends, of course, with Jack making his way to the locker.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Kraken scene at the end is the best.
It is a good one.
With the slow-mo scene where he's going into the Kraken and he tries to stab it as he's getting
and his hat
engulfed.
finally finds out because he ate the hat, remember, from the Turkish. It's a
And
callback.
A good callback, too, with the breath. He goes, not
It's not
that bad.
yeah. He got to think because he's got the worst breath
But damn,
of all time.
Elizabeth Swann just fucking throwing Jack under the
Cutthroat.
bus.
You have to.
Handcuffing him. Damn.
She knew that. What do you think that Kraken was going to stop there?
Yeah, that's true. He can't figure out a paddle boat.
Yeah, I know. He just took out one of the baddest ships ever, the fucking Black Pearl.
Yep.
Which was a heartbreaker for Jack as well.
It was a heartbreaker for fans back then, too.
Oh,
we
yeah.
started loving the Black Pearl.
Absolutely. Well, it's by this point, it's very iconic, yeah. And we know that Jack got the Black Pearl from the locker once already when it sunk, and now he's got to get back again.
He does.
And Jack actually dies. That was, of course, very surprising seeing it the first time. Thinking, oh my God, is this guy? But then they almost immediately give it away by showing, which I thought was so. I mean, I get you have to show him, but then, I mean, immediately Jack's not really dead.
No, because they're going to bring him back right away.
Well, she can bring back Barbossa.
Yeah, so why not bring back Jack?
Why not reveal at the very beginning of the third one that Barbossa's still alive?
Yeah.
But then, of course,
then
we can't show them the trailers.
Yeah.
We can't make a shit ton of money. So
and you don't have that cliffhanger at the end, because that really brought me in as like a kid. I was just like, oh, Barbossa's back.
Yeah.
And then you realize that Jack's coming back. So I do get it. Like the marketing aspect of it.
I know, but writing-wise, it would have been so much more satisfying.
Yes.
If we had no idea going into the third, and they didn't advertise it at all, and then right in the first 5 minutes is fucking Barbossa, which Disney would never do. Of course, it would risk
a lot. Yep.
Which there's no risk of these movies ever not making a shit ton of money.
Well, let's talk about the budget for this. Crazy, back in 2006, the budget was $225 million.
Yes.
Turned around to the box office and made $1.066 billion. And at the time was the third highest grossing film of all time, just behind Titanic and Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Yeah, and you think, and it's one of those things where you go, oh, Gore Verbinski, he directed 3 of the biggest films of all time. Why does that guy not do much more work? Oh, he doesn't fucking need to.
Well, no, he doesn't. He's got probably $1 billion himself in the bank. So
there's a reason he's only done 4 films since the last, and one of them was Rango, which is a very underrated animated film with Johnny Depp. But he hasn't done a whole lot. But
no,
why would he?
You don't need to,
unless you're really, really passionate about the craft and the story.
Right.
Once you've made these bad boys, you never
go back.
Ever need to work.
You don't need to.
This was.
I mean, it's the same effect as Orlando Bloom too that we talked about last time.
Yeah, that was kind of the same thing. Where
Lord of the Rings and then Pirates of the Caribbean, you're set for life.
Well, that especially,
you don't ever have to do anything.
If he does a Star Wars film,
oh my God. Which I'd
why would
love
he though?
To see him be a Jedi.
It would be
really
such a pain in the ass for. He would have to fight off 3 different types of nerds
at a Comic-Con. Yeah.
At anywhere in the world, he would be in danger. So I'm sure he's probably steering pretty clear of any franchise.
I think he'd make a great Jedi. I think he'd make a good. I
don't know. I couldn't see him without seeing Legolas.
Really?
As a Jedi, they'd make him blonde.
Yeah, probably.
Blonde, long hair. He'd be the exact same as Legolas was basically an elf Jedi.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, the elves are basically Jedi in the. Yeah, look, it shows you the. Thank God they didn't go with that second one.
Yeah.
the pre-render, the before. It is amazing just how good this does look, and still
especially
being
for
this old.
2006 and holding up the way that it does.
It is amazing.
They did great.
Yeah. Again, these are just very fun rides, but that's what they start to feel like is just they start feeling less like movies and more like
Yeah, when
rides.
you get to like 4 and 5, it starts to kind of.
It feels like it feels like carnival rides.
Yeah.
But look, they still have the bone cages.
They do.
I would love to have one of those in my house
That'd be
at
pretty
Disney
awesome.
Studios.
You know, they are making a Pirate 6 too.
Of course.
I was just looking at it.
course
It
they are.
is confirmed. It's probably going to be 2022.
At least they haven't started filming, so it'd be at least 20. I
Because
would
they're
guess
thinking
20.
about bringing Johnny Depp back.
I'd guess
now.
2024 because they would have to start filming that really soon if it's
Yeah, they would.
2022. Well, all right, that's all I
Alrighty.
got. Then our last one, we're not going to get into 4 and 5.
No, we're not. But we are getting into At World's End.
Of
Yeah,
course.
we're going to finish this one up. This
Yeah, we got to
trilogy.
see how it ends.
Yeah.
No one knows.
No, they don't.
No one's ever seen these films.
No. Alrighty, well, that is our review for Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. If you guys like what you've seen here watching on YouTube, please be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you want to check us out on podcast format and audio version, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher, social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast, Cash is on Twitter. That's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.